Hey y'all, and welcome again to another episode of LittleTurnipTv. I'm Justice and I'll be your host for the evening. Gather round, y'all, and gather round TikTok. I'll be saying spooky stories and fun facts and historical facts and podcasts all over in true crime on my timeline. So they can't hide anything from me, and I always love to tell you guys stories because you guys know I'm from Rochester, New York. A lot of spooktacular stuff. Anywho, I got a story for y'all. So we have an amusement park here in Rochester, in the greater Rochester area, and it's called Seabreeze Amusement Park. You guys can Google it whenever you want to. It used to be called Dreamland. And one of the rides, this one particularly down here, the Enchanter, has deaths attached to it. So apparently they removed this ride. So I believe this ride got replaced with like a little kid dragon like roller coaster, or it got replaced by like a little kid choo-choo train, something like that. But anywho, this ride was called the Enchanter, and it was like a spooky like ride. And back in May 25th of 1981, a young lady, Miss Petro, she was severely injured by this ride that year, and it actually caused her to lose her life. I'm actually doing two parts to this because this one I have this news article, and the other video I have another news article, and you guys can actually read it for yourself. So I will post that one too and talk a little bit about it. So practically what the police say in the other article and a little bit in this one, is this one's just a little cloudy. The other one you can see so much clearer. Practically they're saying that there was like a group of 8 Webster teenagers, and Webster is one of the towns in our greater Rochester area, and they were going to Seabreeze Music Park to have a good time. The parents dropped them off, thought all was well. Well, Miss Petro, the one that ended up being hurt, was in a car with a little girl named Miss Garson, so we'll just call them that for educational purposes only and protecting the victims. And this was a terrible tragedy, and I'm glad nothing like this has happened in any recent years of what I know of. So Miss Garson and Miss Petro were riding this ride called the Enchanter, and all of a sudden Miss Petruccio was like, oh, hey, I'm gonna go scare our friends that are in the car behind us. And her friend, Miss Garson, was like, no, don't get out of the car, it can be dangerous, so, don't do that. Well, she ended up getting out, and Miss Garson said something about her maybe tripping or something like that, and she got sucked into the bottom of these machines. If you can see where I'm pointing to the lower end, she got sucked in through the hose and the clamps of the belts and the tubes into the rotator that makes the barrels and the rides move forward. So she got sucked down in there, kind of like think of an Italian sausage in a tube, and she was practically suffocated by the machine. So apparently the fire department tried to get her out. Mr. Gilligan, he was the youngster that was operating this machine that very tragic night, and he was hearing her scream and cry and need help, and he did notify the office, which they notified the authorities. The fire department was there in about 2 minutes, but unfortunately Miss Petro, she unfortunately passed away. There was no pulse on her once the fire department got to her. It was very sad, but I will be back with part 2 for you guys, okay?